for our community. At this time, I'm going to give out just a couple words. I'm going to keep it simple because I know we've got some great speakers coming up here, but I'll give you my opening comments. The statistics that I know, there was probably 10 million veterans who served during the Vietnam War. Out of that, 2,700,000 served actually in country. Out of that 2,700,000 veterans, there's less than 800,000 of us left. We're losing them at a very fast pace, and that's greatly due to Agent Orange. And so support your veterans. And again, we want to be here for them. I'm not going to go into, I got 9 pages of statistics, but like Colonel Morgan said yesterday, I condensed them down to just a couple minutes here, and I'm going to do the same thing because I really want to hear the rest of our speakers coming in here. So please save any of your questions until after the retirement of the colors. We will have open mic available. We have some tables and some displays going on. Make sure you sign up and sign in here and get your pin, please, and wear it proudly. And glad to have you here. Thank you so much. And I want to also say thank you to the auxiliary again, Sue and Ann, for really putting it together and doing a fantastic job. I know I'm full, so that's another reason why I don't want you falling asleep here. So at this time, by the way, this is our 6th annual event. You kind of know when the dates were put in and everything, but this is our 6th annual here in Rusk County. And I hope that we can carry on this tradition every year, and let's set it up for our next generation of veterans also, please. And bring them here because they are, as you see, they're part of this too. Next, I want to bring up our first speakers. I'm going to bring up our County Veteran Service Officer. You all know Ron Moser. And now his replacement is Erick Stoker. So we're going to give them a few minutes to please come up here and tell us what's going on in the veteran community.
Good afternoon. I just want to say a few things about Vietnam veterans and Agent Orange. I know there's a lot of veterans out there that have the Agent Orange sicknesses. There are a bunch of them that are not coming in for their benefits. If you know of anybody that has anything that's associated with Agent Orange, have them. Is this better? Yeah. I was talking about Agent Orange and with the Vietnam veterans. And if there are a lot of guys and gals that just don't want to come in and talk about it. And they're not going to get the services and benefits that they need. So if you know of anybody that has any of the associated diseases, such as lung cancer, and I can't even think. Diabetes is the biggest one, very common, and there's just so many of them. There's about 15 of them that the VA recognizes now. So if you know of anybody, have them come in. If you do have any associated Agent Orange, if you feel it's getting better, worse, come on in for a reevaluation. Because that is something that you may not know that exists. If you have something new or it's getting worse, come on in, visit with Eric. He can get you going after he gets trained. To get you going again, and that could result in better compensation and better medical health for you. So another thing that happened during the Vietnam era, a lot of guys got removed from service for bad attitudes. They thought, the military just thought they were bad folks, so they just kicked them out. And they may not have had an honorable discharge. Now they've come up with about 25,000 individuals so far that they realize had PTSD at that time. And it was not recognized as that. So if you know of anyone that may have gotten a bad conduct discharge, they could very possibly be reevaluated and upgraded to an honorable discharge to get the benefits they deserve. That is in process now. And I don't know how long it takes, but they just have to come forward and let us know, and we can get that ball rolling. I haven't had anybody come forward here in Rusk County. I know it's happening, and that's a great benefit knowing that PTSD was recognized as a cause of problems back then. So So I've been the CVSO here for about 8 years. It's been a great job. Probably it is the best one I've ever had. I've never worked this close with people. Primarily, my previous job was taking money from people. Now I'm putting money in people's pockets. And that is a great feeling to help out. And a couple of you have had that same experience, and it's great. Again, get yourself reevaluated if you have a service-connected disability. And I retired Friday. So my replacement, Erick Stoker, I think he was meant to get this job. A lot of strange things happened in Karma, because we both have 23, 24 years in the Air Force. We both retired as E7s. And then I called my name up on my system and he says, holy cow, you have the same birthday as I do. So, he was born on my 18th birthday. So yeah, so it's kind of strange. He's from Glenflor, I was from the Ladysmith area, so yeah, let me introduce Erick Stoker. Give him a break now, he's new. I just went through a whole week with him and that was one time. Trying to go through everything, and we didn't make it, but I said, you got it. But I'm going to be around to help him out. If he gets lost, then he will. Because when I started, my boss walked me in my office, and he said, here it is. And I turned around and he was gone. And I had people in the waiting room. I have no clue. At least Erick has a bit of a background now to know about what's about to happen, but he just needs to be exposed to it, so come on in and see him. Gently. So here's Erick Stoker, and thank you, it's been a great 8 years.
Short. Big fellow face, Ron.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a local boy. Mr. Wisher could have took me for an airplane ride when I was in grade school. Thank you. Jimmy and Jimmy for quite some time. I'm really blessed to have this job. I can't even explain it. So, rest assured, I'm going to be here for you. Whatever you need. If you want to talk, come on in. If anybody has any, if they know of anybody out in the community, please call up, let me know. Give me a call. I'd love to go visit. I'm a very sociable chap. So if anybody wants to, just let me know. Vietnam veterans. I came back from UAE, United Air Veterans. I forgot what year it was. It was Desert Shield, Desert Storm. We came in a banker team. And there was a whole line of you guys there for us. And we probably appreciate that because we didn't know. We didn't know what to expect. And I just wanted to say thank you. Other than that, new guy, 5 days on the job. I'm still learning. A lot of stuff thrown at me, but we'll get her done. I'm to be able to ready. I got my word. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron, for your 8 years that you've given us. As you said, when you come in, you're kind of green, and a lot of people didn't understand how hard a job that you've got. Very difficult. You picked up quickly. You got the ball rolling, and you've helped many of us out. We really appreciate your help. Erick, we look forward to you serving our community and us being able to work with you also. So thank you again. Great men. We love what's going on in there. Next, I promised you I was going to bring back Command Sergeant Major, retired Army, John Vacho. John is the commander for the AMVETS local area. He also heads up a ROD in honor of his son and a couple other vet fallen comrades here in town. And they've done a remarkable job. If you haven't been out to the park there, you've got to go out and see it. But I'm going to turn the floor over back over to John, and please come on up and tell us what's going on.
Erick, I'm glad you said what you said when you returned from the UAE. When I was in Iraq, I was one of the last guys to go on leave because when you're a senior leader, and I was the senior NCO of the battalion, you're the last person in the chow line, you're the last person for any rewards or benefits, and all your soldiers go first. And I was the last one to go on leave. And after 11 months, it was almost like, well, I only got 2 more months to go, should I go? And I thought, well, I'm gonna go. And I wasn't planning on it. My wife at the time said, you know, we're really missing you, come on home. And I said, okay. So as long as you can go through the goodbyes again, because it was pretty rough. And when the guys that were going home on leave came to me and said, man, there are 2 things that they talked about the most. You can't believe how green the grass is. That was the first thing. You can't believe how green it was. Because everything in Iraq was the color of Dennis's hat. You know, I mean, it was just sand and sandy colored buildings, and that was it. And there was just nothing. But that was the one thing they always talked about was the green grass. And the second thing they said was, you're not going to believe the welcome home that you're going to get at the airport. They were just incredible. They had kids, they had grandpa and all this stuff there. They had the veterans, the Vietnam veterans. And they told me this, and I still couldn't really grasp it until I went through it down in Dallas. We flew into Dallas on my home for leave. And I got off that plane, and there was nothing but rows from school kids, from kindergarten, every grade. There were women's auxiliaries, there were veterans groups, there were Elmer Wishards, they were there was Dennis Woods there were so many people. One guy handed me a cell phone and says, you want to call home? First thing, I walk out, he says, you want to call home? And I'm like, are you sure that's okay? You know, I mean, I'm like, holy cow. Well, I got a call in and I called my wife and she told me that her mom passed away. So that was a little bit of my welcome home, but I'll never forget the time that I want to say it was her mother, not my mother-in-law. But anyway, when we got there, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was just, at the time, I was so enthralled into seeing it. All I could say was thank you, thank you, thank you, waving. And guys, you know, I mean, all the veterans, I was prepared, I was told about it, but when you feel it, was something else. And I'll tell you, later, I saw, even the support that were there, the boxes that came in from the VFWs and the American Legions and all the stuff that was in there that was for us. I couldn't believe the support that we had. And I actually felt guilty in a way because I grew up during the Vietnam War. I graduated in '71, I went to tech school, and you know, I never got drafted, and I ended up joining the Army in '74. But the thing is you know, I really, some of the younger guys that I served with probably never felt the way I did, but I always felt that, geez, these guys really got ripped. You know, and they never got a chance to feel that and see that, what we experienced, and I can't tell you, it was a thrill. So I just want to welcome you all home and thank you for the job that you had to do over there. So that's what I wanted to say. But also, last year we dedicated our wall. We do the Honor to Fallen motorcycle ride. I lost my son in Iraq, and I did 25 funerals of other fallen KIAs that I had under my command, and went to the funerals and saw their parents and shed tears with them and everything. And I just, it meant a lot to me. And as they put that memorial for my son and Pat, Andy and Nat down at the park, and I said this at my remarks, and I just said, you know, what about all the rest of them? You know, they're in books. They didn't need to be in the back of a book on a list somewhere. They needed to be in a public display somewhere where everybody knows what the price of freedom is. So we dedicated that wall last May. And if you haven't been down there, take a drive in there, take a look. There's 197 fallen servicemen that were in service at the time of their death, with the exception of 2. One was a World War I veteran that was wounded badly. He died in the veterans home 3 years after he got home, and the other one was a Vietnam veteran who died 10 years later from his severe wounds, and his name was added to the wall in Washington, D.C., and we added it here. but everybody here, include your cousin, Craig is on that wall as well. So, go there, take a look at it. We're not done. We have an eagle that we want to add to the memorial. We're not quite sure where we're going to place it yet because it weighs 150 pounds. We got to drill a 1.5 inch hole in the granite, and we're a little leery of how we're going to do this. So we may have it ready for the ride. We may have to postpone until a later date. But we got a nice 38 inch bronze bald eagle coming. It should be, I hope, arriving by the end of this week. And Melanie Meyer, if you know her, she's put a book together. She did a lot of the research for the names. I mean, I thought I had them, but Melanie found probably another 40 names. Went through 3 newspapers, Bruce Budget, Hawkins Happenings. Lady said there was 3 or 4 newspapers in the county since World War I. Now we have 1, but she found these other names. We read them. She saved the clippings, cleaned them all up. She's working with Cloverman Press right now. We're putting the book together, and that book should be ready by the May 14th ride when we do our ride and available at that time. So, and I think she's going to put it down at the what is it? The depot. Visitor Center over at the depot. They'll be on sale over there, but we're going to have them over at the Deer Tail when we do our ride and that. And there's going to be the clippings from all the papers from 1917 on, all 197. We'll have something in there, and you can read it and get to know these guys and their families and kind of what was going on at that time, and they'd say a little bit about each and every one of them. So that's getting done. May 14th is our fundraiser for the Ambulance Post, and we have Women with Courage that's involved in that. They do the breakfast. We have the Lions Club. They do the dinner. We do the raffles and the ride. Everybody benefits from that, and then we, all those different programs as well. It's a very patriotic day, and it's meant for everybody. Most people say, well, I don't ride a motorcycle. So I say,